Okay, my name is Elisabeth Paliot, University of Lausanne, and I have the pleasure today to talk to Petra Gekeler from the University of Basel, and we will talk about communication, Petra.
Yes, we will.
So, just let's start a little bit with the communication flows at Language Center in Basel.
Yes, I think first of all, one needs to mention that there are several different flows and constellations in a language center. First of all, between the administrative staff and the manager, then at our language center at least, with the language group coordinators, then the lecturers, and not to forget the language center member step. So there are different constellations to be handled. So first of all, concerning the administration team, it's of course necessary that they really know what is going on, because they are a kind of mediator between the manager, the coordinators and the lecturers, and not to forget also a mediator to the university as a whole. So they need to answer, to reply to demands, and they need really to know what is going on and what they have to say in case they are asked specific questions.
Okay, so that sounds challenging. How do you make sure that everyone gets the correct information at any time?
Yeah, that's a kind of problem I also want to discuss with you all here, because in case you want to make it as effective as possible, it means, at least for me, to have many meetings, to have many arrangements. For example, with the administrative team, it's a kind of immediate communication, because, as I said before, they need to know what is going on, what was going on, and maybe which problems need to be tackled. As for the language group coordinators, usually we stay in a permanent contact, so speak about everything, what is going on, what is be planned projects, also advanced courses, workshops, advanced learning, and so on.
Okay, so if I understood well, you're currently working with approximately 45 freelance teachers.
Yes.
So how do you manage to coordinate so many different agendas?
Yeah, that's really difficult, because you cannot force these people to come whenever you like to see them, whenever you want to have discussions with them. So this, for the as you call them, freelancers, they have a kind of frame contract, that means it's a 0-hour contract, and in this contract it's fixed that they need to come for these meetings. So of course it's really a demand, but they know that these meetings are really obligatory.
Okay.
And well, this is something which I have been experiencing the last years. So for them, coming together, deciding on certain topics, it's very, very important. And as we already said in our talk today with Heidi, this question of us, and we are the language center, having new projects, having new courses, also having tailor courses for certain departments at the university. This is very, very important. And as I said, for them it seems to be really essential to get into this contact and to communicate.
Okay. And you, as a manager, how do you promote information and knowledge exchange among the lecturers?
First of all, we do have a kind of what we call portal, so it's a data kind of database which is constantly updated. So they all have access to this database in order to get information. For general news, usually we send news to everyone, and also for concerning new projects in the Language Center, it is also communicated by email, so that everyone knows what is going on.
Okay, what about new stuff? Because I mean, this information or the functionment of a language center is highly precise.
That's right. What we do beforehand, so mostly before the start of the semester, is to invite all new lecturers for the next semester in order to get information. So something which I really think is supporting in a way, we do have a kind of Wegleitung, so a written guidance, where all the duties, all the tasks, all dates we already know are fixed for every semester. So new lecturers coming together for the first time and being introduced to the Language Center, to its venues, to its equipment, etc., etc. This is done before, and at that occasion as well, they get to know also other colleagues and new colleagues as well.
Okay, so you talked about a lot of organized things now, so the meetings, the written guidelines and things like this. Do you think, is there some room for the lecturers, for suggestions on the lecturers' part?
Yes, they come together in this general meetings twice a year, and they also must get, and this is something I always really need to keep in mind, they need to have time to sit together in order to have a cup of coffee, or what we do also is some so-called outdoor activities. So for example, some walking tours once a year, or a spring, autumn or Christmas festivity. I think all of you do that, and this is very important, so that they come together and that there is also a possibility for all of them to meet in a very spontaneous and informal, in an informal way, and to give them the necessary space and time.
How often do you give feedback to your staff? And how?
Yeah, this is something I'm always working on, because of, as you all know, there are different ways to do it. As for example, for the lecturers, of course, the students do evaluate their courses every semester. So in case there is anything students mention, and in which cases I think, well, there should be something done in order to maybe improve it. So this is something I first of all discuss with these language center or the language groups, I should say coordinators, so that we can give feedback in the appropriate manner. And in those languages where we do only, let's say, 1 or 2 lecturers, it's me to give them feedback and not the coordinator. And of course, for the evaluation, this is clear. But for the core stuff, in a way, there are also so-called Mitarbeitergespräche every year. So people sitting together with me, talking about their questions, their demands, their problems sometimes, and at this occasion as well, we try to regulate upcoming programs and so on.
Does it happen in a structured way? So you have a kind of guideline for these
Yes,
interviews?
yes, yes. But it's always modified because there are always some new aspects coming up and need to be noticed for such discussions and conversations.
Okay, so we talked about the communication now inside your language center. How do you foster the communication towards other university services?
Departments. Yeah. So, here I think we are quite happy. At the University of Basel there exist different mailing lists. So you can especially contact people. For example, a mailing list just for bachelors in the natural sciences, a mailing list just for PhD candidates in the humanities and social sciences, a mailing list for all different groups at the university. And what we do, and I think which is also worthwhile to do, is to tell them, well, for you, especially for you, we do have these courses. So just develop a list of some courses which would be appropriate for them, and this helps a lot. And we do offer a lot of tailor-made courses, so for the Swiss Tropical Institute and Public Health Institute. So these people there, they really know what is going on at the language center, which is really useful for them.
Yeah.
And of course, all these official events at the university. So, for example, open days, you all have it, or some evenings for masters only, master information evening. So we always have stands in order to tell people, well, we are there, and for you, especially for you, we have this program. And this is really developing, because the more tailor-made courses we offer, the more demands we get. So, for example, also not only from the university itself, but for example the School of Education, so for teachers, for future teachers, or also we have this very big University of Applied Sciences and Arts, Northwestern Switzerland. They want, for example, for their art students, they want special courses, and not only in English, but also in other languages. So also for students coming from abroad.
Okay. What kind of communicative structures are necessary to enable the Language Center to fulfill its mission to supporting the internationalisation of the
Oui.
university?
Oui, on parle de l'internationalisation. We have been offering a lot of multilingual courses. So in this courses, students, or participants I should say, they are communicating in several languages. They have to submit written papers, or they have to craft posters and present them in different languages. So for them, it's really an opportunity not only to use English, but also other languages in order to communicate in an academic context. As well, tandem learning for them and tandem events once a semester at the Language Center help to get them into contact with all other students and with students from Switzerland. And also students, for example, who want to or need to learn German, so they have, besides all courses on different levels and speaking and writing and whatever, for them we have been developing some events, for example, in a retirement home, where they get together with all the retired people they are interviewed, they interview themselves, and there is a booklet always published, which is also, of course, published by the press. This is something what the press really likes to write about, these kind of projects, they really help to show there is a language center at the university who really tries to integrate also people, external people, because it's the money of the people that is important for the universities.
Are there other points how to increase the visibility of the language center?
Usually at certain events we try to invite the press. There is always someone from our communication and marketing department, and they write some short articles in our university news.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Enjoy.